So before we start, we'll just talk about the survey. You all filled out the survey, or most of you filled out the survey. And I found out that just a few people didn't know what a tweet was. That means they basically didn't have an account. And most people rarely use their account, or they don't know how to navigate their app, or they are not satisfied with what they know. So they use it, but they are not satisfied. So hopefully this tutorial will help people feel more confident using the app. I also made a word cloud of your challenges and expectations. And the most common word there was navigate. So people want that at the end of this tutorial, they'll be able to navigate the app more confidently. People also want to know how to tweet and retweet, get more followers, find information, use hashtags, and create impact with all these things. And most people also want to find balance. How do I know when to contribute, and when do I know when not? And how do I know where to do what? More like, how do I balance my professional life with my personal life and not like step on anyone's toes? That is one of the fears that prevents people from using Twitter most of the time. So hopefully if we have a conversation here, people will be more confident to use the app afterwards. So why Twitter? Twitter is for branding. That's what most people, that's why most people use it, is to build a brand. Other people use it to network, business, academics, finding new friends in a new neighborhood and all of that, and to create impact. So if you have like some kind of products that you want to get to more people, you use Twitter. And to self-improve, you go there to read tweets about how to get over depression, find a community dealing with depression so that you can talk to them without meeting them face to face and all of that. And most people also use it for entertainment or a combination of all of these things. So you go to the trends, you find out what's going on, what's the drama going on, and then you enjoy yourself. So we will get started with, sorry, this thing is in my way. We will get started with a basic navigation of the app. So the Twitter profile, when you go on the Twitter profile, you see a DP, you see the bio. I'll show you what it is, and the header, and what you call a pinned tweet. Some people don't use it, but it's very important. But your profile is supposed to tell people who you are. Like when I visit your profile, who is this person? Twitter, most people using Twitter don't have time. They only have 240 characters to read. So as soon as they visit your profile, they want to know, is this person a serious person for me to deal with, or should I just walk away? And why should I take you seriously? And so normally you want to make sure that your DP is you. You get it? So your DP is you. It's not the egg or the female avatar or the male avatar. People don't take those people seriously. They want to see a professional picture of you. Like if you can see Zintley's profile picture now, that's what they want to see. They want to know that this is a serious person I can deal with, and this is a nice person I can deal with. So be professional with your profile. Tell people who you are. So I'll just move on to Twitter right now. And can you see my Twitter screen? You can. Okay. So not to hype myself, but if you come to my profile, I'm talking about me being a PhD candidate. This is where I'm doing my PhD. This is my university. I just give a very brief description of my topic and other things that I might want to brag about. And I also add that I'm a blogger. I have a pinned tweet. You can pin any tweet you want. If you click on this arrow here and you click on pin to your profile, you see that it will be pinned here. That means it doesn't move. As things change, that one stays the same. Some people tend to use that to also describe themselves further. So for example, NRF is the funding agency that funds me, and they wrote a tweet saying if you want them to boost you or to make you to sort of boost your profile, you should write something about yourself and use the hashtag researcher in Africa and tweet at them. So when I did that, I got 50 likes and 13 retweets, which is a lot in Twitter currency. I already feel like a celebrity. so when I got that, I decided to pin it because it adds up to what I have here. And then there's the header. There too, some people tend to just use a picture, another picture, or some people write something, a profile on there that will show them or tell you more about them. So that's about it for your profile, I think. So always ensure that your profile is and you can always update it. You don't have to keep it as it is. If you get a new picture, change your profile, even though people like getting used to the old picture, and change things as your life changes around and more things come into play. Some people didn't know how to tweet or to create threads. Is there anyone here who doesn't know how to write a tweet, like a basic tweet? You can just raise your hand. Okay. Franca raised their hand. Okay. So one of the biggest challenges for me when I created an account in 2010 was where is the tweet? Like, how do you read it? And sometimes all over the place, which one is the top one and which one is the bottom one? That's what sometimes discourages people from tweeting. So to write a tweet, I'm using the desktop version. Let me see what the phone version looks like. Yeah, okay. Can you see? No, you can't. Okay. So there's in your bottom left corner, in the bottom left corner of your phone, you can see a feather with a plus on it. That's how you start a tweet. On the computer, you just click tweet, and then a box opens, and it asks you what's happening. So I just started the Twitter tutorial. That's a tweet, right? Then you click on tweet, and then boom, you are out there. Then people will come and insult you, or they will leave you alone. So that's how you create a tweet. So when I push it, it will show up as the first thing here. So just now, 3 seconds ago, I tweeted this thing. And now, if I have loved ones, they will come and like it and retweet it for me. You can always delete a tweet by clicking this and deleting it. So you delete it. But word of caution, always be careful of what you tweet. Read it 200 times before you tweet, but don't be too careful. Just ensure that there are no typos. Even though there are always typos, there's always punctuation mistakes. Don't be too conscious about that. Just make sure that what you're tweeting makes sense, because Twitter is full of it's a place full of people who really think hard about things, and sometimes too hard about certain things. So make sure what you're tweeting makes sense, I mean, to you. But in doing so, as I said, be careful of your trail. Ensure that whatever you are liking, whatever you are retweeting, reflects what you believe in or don't believe in. If you're retweeting something, I always prefer, if it's a potentially controversial, I always prefer to add a comment to it. So if I come here and I see, okay, this is the first thing on my profile. let's say I like this thing and I want other people in my circle to see it. What I can do is to click on retweet. If I just click on retweet, it will just push it to my profile and people in my circle will see it. But if I didn't like what was here or I wanted to add more to what was happening here, I would retweet and say, this is why I love United. So when I retweet and go to my profile, you'll see it here. This is why I love United. And that's me reaffirming whatever was said in the tweet. So that's how you retweet. Every time someone likes something, someone you're following likes something, it shows up on your timeline. So as you scroll through, you see or retweet something. All the people I'm following are retweeting, they are liking things, and they are showing up on my timeline. So that also tends to determine the circle you want. You know, it's not like Facebook. On Facebook, when people are liking things, you don't see it. There's only a window somewhere where people are liking things, and you're not involved with what's happening. But on Twitter, as people are liking things, they are being drawn to your profile. So as you are liking things, they are being drawn onto your followers' profile as well. And that's why you tend to be careful about what you like and what you retweet. On your profile, you can see all the things you've liked in the past. All the things you've liked in the past is shown here, or are shown here, sorry, are shown here. And if you don't like it being there, you can always come back and unlike it, and it will vanish from your profile. Most people add a warning here that likes and retweets are not an endorsement of what they believe in or what they stand for. Sometimes it's true, but I kind of also believe that it expresses your sentiments in one way or the other. So I wouldn't normally go liking things if I don't believe in them. So that's the trail I was talking about. So be careful about the trail you leave behind and know where to contribute and where to lack. There are certain places you don't go contributing, else you'll catch fire and there'll be no one to quench it for you. So be careful. Most people wanted to know how to gain followers. That is, it's not a topic I'm well versed in because I'm not verified on Twitter, but at least I have 500 followers, and I can tell you how I think I've gained my followers over the span of 2 years or so that I recreated my new account. To gain followers, you need to create content. People tend to follow you if they like your content and they like your circles. They realize that you have something in common. Someone will only know what you have in common if they see what your profile is about. They come on your profile, they see you tweet a lot about books or some scientific stuff. So they want to see more of that. So they follow you. You gain followers when you follow people. Some people, most average people, like average people like me on Twitter will follow you back if you follow me. But sometimes you have to remind people to follow you. So when you follow someone and they're not following back, just hit their inbox. Sometimes it can be quite intrusive, but just be like, hey, can you follow me back? Or something like that. It has something to do with self-esteem. If you don't fear rejection, you can always go with that. But some people might feel like you're intruding their privacy. So just know who you're dealing with in order to do that. But I tend to have my boundaries. For people, if I follow you, I give you a few days. If you don't follow me back, and I think about it, I'm like, well, you don't really even do anything for me on my timeline. Boom, I unfollow you. But usually I don't expect verified people to follow me back because they are like verified, or people with very huge following, people with hundreds and thousands or tens of thousands of followers. Imagine receiving follow requests, hundreds of follow requests every day. They will lose track. So sometimes you want to like remind them to follow you back and all of that. Sometimes they are call for follow, something I would call for follow thread. So someone would, for example, tweet that, hey, let's gain followers. So comment or do something and let other people follow you. So I saved an example to show it to you. Okay, can you see this? Yeah. So for example, this person is like, let's gain followers. Drop your handle and follow the likers. So what you do is you comment there with your handle. You comment with your handle. Everyone who likes it, you go and follow the person and the person will follow you back. It's a cheap way to get followers. But most of the time, those people who you follow tend to unfollow you after they've seen that you followed them, if that makes sense. So the person likes it. I go to follow the person. They follow me back. They know that I've received the notification that they follow me now. They wait a few days, then they will unfollow me. And that is because of a certain weird, I don't know, a certain weird sense of competition, I would say, where people don't want to have more following than followers, because it tends to give this impression that you are important. I don't know. So you need to know like that that space to know that some people like want to have more followers than following, so that it seems that they are important. I've seen people with 1 million followers and 0 following, and I don't know what shows up on their timelines. But yeah, so this is a very general sense of a general introduction to how to gain followers, but I'll go more in depth about how to gain followers. You don't really have control over it, but what you can do is to create content and draw people in. So are you reading a book? Are you writing an article? Are you going to be doing a tutorial soon? Then write it, tweet it. Are you attending a conference? Usually when conferences and conference, not only in the academic sense, but business conference or some big events, usually ahead of time, the marketing or advertising, whatever, department will release a handle or a hashtag that you can tweet at. And so depending on how big the event is, when you use that hashtag, people following the hashtag will tend to follow each other because they want to meet at the event and network. That is a very nice way to meet people who really are interested in meeting you. If you have a product to promote, you tweet it. If you've published a new paper for the academic people, or you've written a blog post, or you've published a new YouTube video like Irene, if you have a question, I think most of my followers were gained through questioning and discussions. So what I would normally do is to ask a general question. Hey guys, I'm about to plot a figure. What were some of the challenges you faced when you were plotting your first figure? Sometimes I know, but I just want to engage people. Then I use hashtags, and then you see people commenting. That's the nice thing about Twitter. You don't need anyone's permission to comment on something. Not like in real life where people need to seek permission to enter a discussion. So, and usually you meet nice people there too. Nice people come with very nice tips and comments. So always start discussions. And if you start it just on your profile, it might not gain the attention you want. That's where hashtags come in. So we'll talk more about hashtags and handles. So I added, if your dog or cat is doing something funny, you can also tweet it. You'll be surprised the kind of things that tend to trend on Twitter just because but you use the right hashtag and some person boosted it. So to engage, normally you use hashtags. and the right one. Don't create your own hashtag. Don't create your own hashtag. That's one tip I'll give you. So if you're about to create content about something, for example, a topic in Ghana, there's already a hashtag Ghana somewhere. So maybe you search for the hashtag first and then you add it to your tweet. But don't create your own hashtag. Don't say, I love food, hashtag James Azam. Nothing is going to happen to that hashtag. What people do is to either use an already trending hashtag, and there's a downside to that, but we'll get there. So you can contribute to a hashtag that's trending. For example, in South Africa, we always have very nice hashtags going on. I once dated, then you contribute, and then you get people liking, people retweeting, and people following you. So some weird people can use this I once dated to tweet something that is unrelated to the tweet. But trust me, Twitter will come for you. Don't do that. Don't do that. I recently saw a certain lady who died in a very brutal way quite recently in South Africa. And someone tweeted something funny also, and they used that hashtag, like RIP this person. And it wasn't funny for the person. The person lost a lot of followers, and it wasn't funny at all. So don't do that. But what you can always do is, for example, if you're posting a picture, I'm hoping you can see my Twitter screen. You can, okay. So say I took a picture on my iPhone. So I'll search for photography. Oh, nope, that's not how to spell photography. Yep, and already there's a hashtag photography here. And you see that it gains a lot of attention. So nature photography, that's a good idea. Birds, I click on birds. Creating content is hard work. Birds have a nice universe. So if I take a picture of a bird and I just want to put it on my profile, I'll add the hashtag birds and hashtag nature photography, hashtag beautiful. Don't use too many hashtags. It becomes like annoying. It becomes annoying. So one or two are enough, especially if one is a superset of the other one. So you use a pre-existing hashtag, and it will throw your content into this universe where you are not really following people or people following you, but you are all following the same subject. A hashtag is more like a way of drawing content together into one universe. So if, for example, today I'm in the mood to view pictures of birds and I come to Twitter, I can just go into hashtag birds and I will see pictures of birds. You see, I'm not following these people. If I like this picture, well, I don't know this person, but I liked it. And that's how you can boost your content. Use mentions. For example, when I started, I said you should mention me in your tweets. Mention is more like tagging the person, drawing the person's direct attention. And so if you use a mention, the person will get notified that they've been mentioned in a certain tweet, especially if you want to have a conversation with one person. Another way to use a mention is if you want to, there are many ways of sharing a tweet with someone, but one way is maybe if I see a thread of bird pictures and I want Enam to see it. Am I following Enam? No. Antoinette, what's your is it wait, can't remember anymore. I'm trying to remember a simple one. Okay, Zintley. I remember Zintley's own. Yikes. Yeah. So if I wanted her to see this thread, right? One option would be for me to mention her in the thread. If I click reply, she will come there and see the whole thread and she can read it. That's one way. And so that's how you can also engage other people. But don't go mentioning celebrities and all of those people. Sometimes they do come into the thread, but they are too busy replying to other things. So that doesn't really help. I talked about quoted tweets. You retweet, quoted retweets. You retweet and then you add your own comment to the retweet. That's how you engage people. One thing is a quoted retweet is a tweet. And so you can retweet and add more hashtags to it to boost the question. For example, if you tweet something and you forget to add a hashtag, what you can do is to retweet your own tweet and then boost it with the hashtags. I hope you all know that you can't edit a tweet. It's been a conversation for a very long time, but you can't edit a tweet. You can only delete it. But trust people to take a snapshot of it if it doesn't make sense and use it against you. So that's one reason why you should always think about your tweets before you push them onto onto Twitter, because you can't edit it. It's not like Facebook. The last one is my favorite, bots, Twitter bots. There are many Twitter bots. I have a section on that, so I'll talk about it. But if you engage a bot, the bot will help boost your tweet into the rest of Twitter. And so there are many worlds in Twitter, as I talked about. Using hashtags, you can enter those worlds. If you want the academic world, there are hashtags like hashtag academic chatter, hashtag academic Twitter. There's always something Twitter around. If you're a PhD student, there's hashtag PhD chat, which is a very nice place for talking to people without really knowing who they are. So if you tweet a PhD question or a research related question and you write PhD chat as the hashtag, you will get people coming to comment on it. So sorry to bore you with PhD stuff, but it's a good example. Sorry, this is a handle. Let's try academic Twitter. So you see, people are always like writing stuff and adding academic Twitter as the hashtag. You don't need to add too many hashtags because some of them collide. And so whenever you add a hashtag, a proper hashtag that is already well known, you get people attending to your tweets as to whether they want to contribute, they want to retweet it, they want to like it, and all of that. You can even share memes. People are just there for many reasons. Maybe this one will not be as popular as this one, but yeah, if you have some advice, you can write it, use your academic chatter hashtag, and you'll get there. If you're reading a book, you can use the Goodread hashtag. If it's a photo, you use hashtag photography. So for example, I was about to read, every time I'm about to read a new book, Zintley tweeted about my thing, if you can see it. So she's like, enjoying this tutorial, I'll be using your tips to update my profile. So that's a tweet, and that's a boost of the tweet I wrote. So she retweeted it and then she wrote it. Yesterday, when I was preparing the slides, I tweeted about it. I got people saying things about it. And that's because I used hashtag Twitter and hashtag Zoom because we're working on Zoom. The rest of the words were not really keywords, and so I couldn't really coin a nice tweet around it. I was talking about Goodreads. So come to my profile. and you come to my media. Nope. I was going to read a book, so I tweeted about it. And someone talked to me. I've never met the person. I engaged with the person, and we went our way because why not? It's Twitter. So I was about to read this book. Can you all see?
Yeah, I think I've read it. I have a copy.
Nice. So I was like, this is my new read. I'm kind of nervous because it has some of the words I fear the most: cancer, death, etc. Hashtag good read. Boom. And I was now waiting for people to comment. So I got 5 likes, which is not really the thing. And then someone is like, it's really beautiful, but very rough. But I promise it's worth it. And then I'm like, and then another person commented on it. I don't know these people, but I ended up following them and they followed me back. So that's one way to express your interest. You add a hashtag. If I had just written only this without a hashtag, maybe my followers might have seen it and liked it, but that's just a like, nothing much. But I gained at least 2 followers from that content I created. So always use hashtags to your advantage, and yeah, use it to your advantage. At this point, are there any comments? Yeah, 2 participants raised their hands, but I can't see them. So let me see. Trying to see who raised their hand. Oh, okay, Z.
Okay, so for me, I usually just like the tweet or just retweet it without a comment, because like Twitter is full of savages. Y'all are savages in that place. And for me, I think it feels safer that way. So if I see a tweet, even though sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to say something, I'm just like, retweet, I'm out. Because for me, it's still scary. And the other thing that I really struggle with is that some of my personal interests are really not aligned with my work. So I really want to be that person who comes up and be passionate about the things I'm passionate about. But at the same time, I'm a researcher. So that's the other thing. So usually I would just retweet and and just leave it like that.
Yeah. That's so when I started, not that I started a long time ago, from 2010, I had my first account in 2010 till 2017. It was just me doing those things, like going on to the drama, getting myself in trouble. So when I started my PhD, I was like, nah, I need to start a new life. So I created a PhD. No, I didn't name it a PhD account, but in my head, it was my PhD account. It has my real name, James Azam. So here, I was going to be serious. I was going to advertise myself. I'm a PhD candidate. This is my research. I'm looking for people to be interested in my research, and I'm going for a conference. I want people to see me there. So I was managing 2 accounts. The other account for fooling, if it's right for me to put it that way, and the other account for serious business. I was only retweeting serious people saying, hey, measles is a problem. But it was a lot of work. So I deleted the old account and I stuck with the new account. And I only started the serious things. I promised myself I wasn't going to follow any tweleb who was going to draw in drama into my Twitter. And then after a year or so, I was like, well, I see these professors being themselves on Twitter. Like some of them are tweeting curse words. Like these are verified professors, lecturers who taught us. I know you know some of them. You are following all of them. You can see what they are tweeting about. Some of them tweeting about, hey, how can I punish my daughters to wake up in the morning? They get their students replying. So I was like, well, maybe I can be myself just a little bit. So I eased myself a little bit into it. But I'm still trying to stick to that brand, you know? When I started off, I talked about the brand, your profile being your brand. When someone sees my tweet, what should they expect? They should expect me talking about serious things. I've had people inbox me asking me about outbreaks, measles, how is the pandemic going to look like? I'm not an expert, but because of my profile, they kind of have a certain expectation of me, and so from time to time I comment on a few other like the ones we are talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see a tweet you really hate and you just want to be like, hey bro, like what you're talking about is like nonsense and blah blah blah. What I do is to write out the tweet and delete it. I don't send it. Anger management 101. Write it but don't send it, because you may never know who will find that tweet 20 years from now and use it against you.
Did you see that that girl who was entering Miss South Africa and she actually got disqualified because of her racist twist from like 2014?
Exactly what I was about to mention. That's a case study. I actually saved that tweet to use as a case study. That this person tweeted in 2014, and there's Twitter police to trust Twitter police to do it for you. She tweeted something. She thought she was joking. She thought it was just a casual joke. And this year she's entering Miss South Africa, and someone brings it up like, hey, you tweeted this thing. It's racist. We can't allow a racist person to enter Miss South Africa. And she was like, nah, it wasn't. I was just 14. And people are like, racism doesn't have an age limit. You don't have like 0 to 10 is non-racist, 10 to 14 is racist. There's nothing like that. Once a racist, always a racist. So they started a hashtag. So I don't know about general Twitter, but South African Twitter has the must fall hashtag. If they add your name to that must fall, you're going to fall. So they started Bianca must fall, and they pressurized her and her modeling agency, and she withdrew her intention, I guess. So it's all really about being very, very careful, always remembering your brand. Every time you write a tweet, you just think about whether you can lurk. You can go into the scariest of places on Twitter, but I would really advise you to lurk. Know where to lurk. I think I mentioned it somewhere. You should know where to lurk and know where to contribute, because it can really come back and haunt you. So thank you for bringing that up. Franca.
James, I'm just understanding. I've created the account.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I thought you were going to ask me a question or say something or comment or something.
Oh, everything just looks like the things are plenty.
There are a lot in your face.
Yes.
So, is there anything in particular you are finding challenges with? I'm sure there are a number of people who might be experiencing the same thing.
Okay, so now they are asking me to follow people, and I have options to. Yes.
That you mean who to follow? Is it this one? Who to follow?
Yes, who to follow.
That is based on. It's based on recommendation. Don't be pressurized. Don't be under pressure. Don't be under. Follow me. Follow only me. Okay, so you can search for. So if you look in the chat thread, you'll see everyone has put up their handle there. So yeah, okay. So just go into the search. How do you call it? The search window or whatever, and write @ and then, for example, James_Azam. And if you see a very handsome guy with Ghana and South Africa flag there, you just click on me and you follow. And then everyone on this call should follow the other person. If this is your first time joining Twitter, you at least have, I don't know how many people on the call now, but you at least have up to 10 followers to begin with?
I have.
Okay, thank
Let
you.
me add that.
Follow only me, don't follow any other person. Yeah, Irene raised her hand. Irene, where is Irene? Oh, I saw her somewhere. Irene, are you
Can
ready?
I ask my question? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you mentioned that you created your PhD account. Did you create a separate account altogether, or there was a way you could create an account in their account? Or I want to create a new account. So do I have to like use Google to start all over again, or there's a way to do it? What do you do?
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
So over here, you can add an existing account, but that's after you've created a new account. I'm not sure they will allow you to use the same email. But after creating the new account, if you come to add an existing account, you log in here. You then have two accounts here that you can switch between.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Is that what you're really interested in doing?
The name on my previous profile, I don't know, maybe then I'll have to change the name to make it more professional or make it suited to the brand I would like to portray on Twitter. So it's also possible to change my name and then change the art thing, everything.
You can. Someone asked this as part of the questionnaire, whether you could edit your username. So if you come to more, are you following, or should I just?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm on the
Are you
screen
following me, or should I just like go through it? So it's just like how you change.
I don't have my phone. So I'll just look at it and then do it.
Okay. So it's not difficult. It's just like any social media account. You come to more, then you come to settings, then you come to accounts. Okay. Username. That is your username. Let me see something. Initially, you couldn't change your handle, but I think that is, unless someone can correct me, I think that is the handle you can change now. But earlier on with the earlier Twitter, you couldn't change your handle. Whatever you started with was whatever you're going to deal with. So you go to more, as I said, you go to settings and privacy, then you go to username, and then you change it. So if I were to change it to James, oh, it's been taken, unfortunately. But yeah, you can try that. But if it doesn't work, then I guess you have to create a new account and start all over.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't have any followers anyway, so it won't be too difficult.
Okay.
I just followed you, so now you have one follower.
Araba, is that Araba?
Yes, please.
You followed me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You and I think is it Franca?
Yeah.
Everybody that dropped their handles.
Oh, okay.
Everybody now. I'm following everybody now.
Okay, cool. Moses.
James.
Welcome, Moses.
Thank you, James. Sorry, I got the time wrong. I thought it's at 4. So I was at work. I just realized I was. Yeah. Sorry. I hope I'll get a recording, but I'm not sure I can ask any question now since I'm late.
I'm recording it, and I'll upload it to YouTube. I hope I didn't say anything incriminating. So yeah, so the recording will be made available.
I'll watch and listen to it. Yes, and then I'll ask my questions privately.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
When you upload it to YouTube, we want our royalties.
I will tag all of you. I'll put it to
our dividend, please.
I'll post it on Twitter and tag you. Who knows? You'll become famous. Okay, so that was the first part of Twitter. I feel like I did more talking than doing. Do people feel like that's what I did? Were people expecting more doing?
For me, I got what I was expecting out of it. So yeah, good.
Okay. Now,
because you're also engaging us as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think it's a fair balance.
Okay. Then I would like to go to the advanced part of Twitter. Not anything scary, but just to get to what I've been talking about is the basics. Creating a tweet. I've not talked about creating a thread. I'll talk about a thread now. Using the right hashtags, looking for a hashtag before you think of creating your own. Because normally when you create your own hashtag, it doesn't really last. It doesn't go far compared to whatever is already happening. So that's about it for and ensuring that you are mindful of your internet trail and not leaving behind any trail that could incriminate you in one way or the other. So that's the basis. Now, what I would call advanced Twitter, because most people don't use it and are not even aware they are there. So Twitter has a lot of filters. You remember I mentioned that as people like tweets, they appear on your timeline. As people retweet, they appear on your timeline. There are also annoying tweets that say, retweet if blah, blah, blah. People don't like those kinds of tweets because they are annoying, they are cheesy. So Twitter has this very nice feature where you can sort of close your circle to only what you want so that you deal with, sorry, someone, I was distracted by a chat, but yeah, you can mute words on Twitter. You can filter out information and only see what you want to see. And to boost your content or to control your account in a certain way, you can use a bot. I told you bots are my favorite. So I'll show you how to use them. Let's start with muting. So when the pandemic started, I was following a lot of COVID stuff, hashtag COVID-19, hashtag COVID in South Africa, blah, 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 all over my Twitter timeline. I was getting depressed, I was dying. So I was like, nah, I'm tired of seeing these things. So I don't want to see any of that on my timeline anymore. How do you do that? You come to more, then you go to settings. When you come to settings, you go to content preferences. And then you come to safety. Under safety, you can block accounts. Like there are some accounts that are definitely catfish accounts and they are disturbing you in your DM, so you just block them. I've not blocked anyone. If anyone disturbs me, I'll block them. But muting is my favorite. You come to muted words. Okay, so it gives you a set, mute words. When you mute words, you don't get any new notifications for tweets that include them or see tweets with those words in your timeline. So got it. I have words that I've muted. I have OnlyFans muted. To create a muted word, you just click on the plus button. Then I'm going to mute everything COVID-19. Yo, that's not how to write COVID. I'm going to mute anything COVID-19. And I'm going to mute anything COVID-19 in essay, I think. And I think it's case sensitive. So a big COVID-19, a big C, will be different from a small c. So when you mute words, what happens is on your home timeline, you don't expect to see anything that has those words in it. So as I scroll through, it's going to remove hopefully going to remove everything that has to do with COVID-19. And that is one way of like really dealing with the content you're seeing on your Twitter. You can, if you don't like church, if you don't like church, you can mute church. If you don't like fitness, you can mute #fitness, and all of those words will be removed. So it's a feature most people don't use, but it's really useful, especially if you're not in the mood to see certain content at a certain time because you're going through something. Maybe you don't want to see any word like happiness, happy, anything of the sort. You come to muted words, then but I want to see them, so I have to remove them. Now there's a time I found a certain tweet that had a more advanced way of muting things. It's
just a quick question on what you just finished.
Yeah.
So like if there's a tweet with COVID-19 and the #COVID-19, #outbreak, you still see, like if you are still following outbreak, it comes, right? Even though you've muted COVID-19.
I think it's more like an OR operation. It's more like an OR operation. So it's more like this or that or that. Remove everything if it has any of these ones. So if that tweet had an outbreak in it, the word outbreak, but also had COVID-19, it would remove that tweet because it has COVID. I don't want to see COVID.
Oh, really?
I'm hoping that's how it works. But these 5 I found to be very useful. I found it under a thread some time back. This one removes, usually on Twitter, RT means retweet. So there are tweets that say retweet if blah, blah, blah. Those tweets usually are cheesy and annoying, so you don't want them on your timeline. So I muted it. Suggest who to follow. It's similar to what Francisca got in the beginning. From time to time, you get a lot of suggestions as a notification saying, hey, Moses is your friend's friend. Do you want to follow him? If you mute that, you won't see that on your timeline. Suggest recap. Twitter has, in case you missed it, it has a panel called in case you missed it. If you're not interested in recapping what you missed earlier on, if you use suggest_recap, it will remove all that. Suggest activity tweet. I've forgotten what it really does. I've forgotten. Suggest recycled tweet inline. I've also forgotten what it does, but I know it works. but this is just to tell you how powerful, how much power you have over the content you can see. If you want to mute anything, just come to muted words and mute them. You can also mute accounts. You could be following something and you just like mute all the people you don't want to see their content on your timeline. If I don't want to see this guy's stuff on my timeline anymore, I just come here and I say mute him. Mute at Karim Kar, and he'll be added to my muted accounts. So that's muting. It's a way of filtering out information. Another way to filter information is to look at the trends. So this is the trends that I've chosen to show on my account. I love trends. When I'm bored, I come to trends and I read them. They are very entertaining. But maybe today I want to know what's happening in Ghana. So when for my trends, I've set it to show my content by location and to personalize it for me. So not just everything that's trending, but what is trending in my circles. What are people in my circles tweeting about? That's what I want to see. So when you come to explore locations, I could be in South Africa, but I would be interested in what's going on in Ghana. For example, an event is happening today. I want to see what's happening. So if I change it to Ghana, then I see the Ugua Hall Diaries is trending. Bar for Bar, I don't know what it is. Dortmund, Big Boy, and all of that is trending in Ghana. So I could be in South Africa and be very much abreast with what's happening on Ghana Twitter. But if I even want to like narrow it further, I could change it to personalize it for me. So it will show me the trends based on what my inner circle, my Ghana inner circle on Twitter is doing. And that's very useful for controlling information on your Twitter. So I'm going to change this back to South Africa. And I'm going to say it should just show what my people are interested in. Now, bots, my favorite. Bots are, there are many types of bots. I don't really know all of them, but the ones I really love are the retweet bots. They work for me, but they also work against me because they retweet everything onto my timeline. But what you do is when you write a tweet, when you create content and you want to boost it, you call in the retweet bot. So the one I use most is associated with the programming language I use, which is called R. And the retweet bot is called R for data science. R4 data science online. It's a retweet bot, I think. And R tweets. Forgotten. Anyway, let me look for it somewhere else. So know your, okay, R start tweet. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Know the bot you love. Find, it takes time, right? But in the beginning, if you really are looking forward to boosting your content, a retweet bot is your best friend. They don't ask you to retweet. As soon as you write something and you use the hashtag, that bot is trained to come retweet it for you. And then it goes into another universe, a much bigger universe of people who use that hashtag, and then they tend to contribute a lot to you. I'm expecting it to have like retweeted a lot of things already. Okay, so it's called our start tweet. So when you come to its profile, it's not a human being. That's what I'm saying. It's not someone. So it will tell you what it does. It says, I retweet hashtag our stats stuff operated by a real, okay, it says operated by a real person. Sometimes it's automated. So anytime you tweet something and you add hashtag our stats, which is the name of the programming language. For example, I'm trying to analyze certain data and I don't really know how to do it. I'm like, hey, how do I convert something to something, hashtag our stats? That bot will retweet it for me. And then other people who are interested or following that bot will see it. And you may not be following them, but you can see it. And also people following the hashtag will see it. A retweet bot, that's how you use a retweet bot. Now there's thread reader bot. Thread reader bots are used for reading Twitter threads. So just in case I forgot to mention how to read a tweet, this is the tweet and this is the thread. You can tweet, you can, how do you call it, subtweet. You copy the link to the tweet and post it under the tweet and it will appear as another tweet. That's a subtweet. If you click on it, it will lead you to that tweet. So sometimes people create threads. I have people create threads all the time. I'm looking for one of the people I follow who creates threads about COVID a lot. He's a mathematical modeler and he works. So you can see he created a thread. I hope you can all see. So he wrote a thread. They wrote a paper, he wrote a thread about the paper just to boost it, and then you get a lot of retweets and stuff. Now this can be hard to read, you see, like going from here to here. What a thread roller bot does is to put this together in a more readable format on a web page. So if I come here and I'm really lazy to like go through this thread and read it, and yeah, I don't really like it that way. I come here, then I call in the thread reader. So it's called thread roller. Why is it trying to disgrace me? Okay, so it's called thread reader app. When you call it in, that's all you need to do. You just call it in, and then you reply. In a few seconds, I'm going to get a notification saying, hey, James, I'm at your service. I've created a thread for you. So when I click on the thread, it will open as a web page, and now it looks like a blog article, and I can go and read it, the thread that way. That's a thread reader app. I don't know about Android, but on iPhone, you can't download videos easily on Twitter. So another bot I really love is the Get Video bot. Get Video bot. What it does is to give you a link to download the video. So if I come to a tweet, I click on it, come directly under the tweet, I click on reply, and I write at Get Video bot. There are many of them. I'm kind of used to using this one. I've never experienced any problems with it. And you click on it, you wait a few minutes. Sometimes it's too busy, so it doesn't mind you. But on the thread, on the Get Video Bots link, page, they tell you what to do when it's too busy. So what it does is there a video or GIF? Is it GIF or GIF you want to download? Just mention at Get Video Bots, and I'll get you the download link in a few seconds. I just saw a notification. I'm hoping that's my Get Video Bot. Yeah. So it replies to me saying, yes, video, it's here. Please always check your download page if I didn't respond. So if it doesn't respond, you can always go straight to your video, one of your old notifications, and check it, and you'll see that the video would have been loaded there. So if I come here, all videos I've requested from the Twitter API in the past from that bot will show here. So you can always come back and download your old videos. So if I play it and it's the one I want, then I can download it on my phone because it will give you a download link. So those are the three bots I think I really love to use. The retweet bot to boost my tweets, and thread reader to read threads easily, and the video downloader bot. Does anyone have a question at this point? I'm just realizing that we are like 30 minutes past the scheduled time. Okay. So the last one I'll talk about is bookmarks, moments, and lists. Bookmarks are just like how you would bookmark a web page. That's if you've been bookmarking pages. I have loads of bookmarks on my computer. You can't even imagine. I love to bookmark tweets. If I see a tweet I like, I just come here, I just click this arrow, then I bookmark it, add tweet to bookmarks. If I add it, 5 years from now, I can always come to my bookmarks and I'll see the tweet that I bookmarked. It's there as long as the person keeps the tweet alive. If they delete the tweet, it won't be there. There are also other ways of sharing a tweet. You can send a tweet via direct message. So you click on it, then you search for people you're following, then you send it to them. You can copy the link to the tweet and put it somewhere else. So those are ways to bookmark. Moments are Bookmarks are private. No one sees your bookmarks. You're the only one who sees it. Moments are more public. So they are more like folders. They are like bookmarks, but you can organize them in folders and you save things into them according to a topic. So let's say things related to R. So anytime I see something related to R, which is a programming language, and I want to look at it later, I save it to my moments, my R-related moments. Academic advice. Anytime I see something really pleasant, academic-wise, I put it into my academic advice moments, and I can always come back and see it. Because I made it public, anyone can also see it. So that's moments and bookmarks. I use them a lot. I have a lot of bookmark tweets. Now to the last absolutely fantastic, fantabulous feature of Twitter. At least to me, I might overhype it and you may not like it the way I like it, but they are called lists. So on Twitter, Twitter lists are a way of, they are just like bookmarks and moments, but they are living, they are rolling, it keeps going. And they're usually organized by topics. You can be added to someone's list and you can create your own list. You can make them private or public. A list is a folder on Twitter that contains accounts that are tweeting about something you like, that you like to see all the time. For example, news. So let's create one. I can create a list, call it sports. I think I already have sports, but let's just create a new one. Sports news. You can add a description to it and you can make it private so that no one can access it. Now under lists, you can now add people or accounts. So if I say sports, BBC Sports, Sky Sports, or accounts that tweet about sports, let's say NBC Sports, and then I click done. Now what a list does is it keeps containing all the tweets or retweets or activities of that account. So when you come on Twitter and that's the only thing you're interested in, you can always go to your list and view what's happening there instead of going onto your timeline, which is more haphazard and people are tweeting all over the place and you don't want to see. Lists are more like keeping a more organized structure on your Twitter. And you don't necessarily have to follow those accounts. That's the nice thing about lists. You don't have to follow the accounts to add them to your list. So if I have a folder like funding, academic funding, I created it, it's public, anyone can look at it. And I've added the academic funding organizations I know. So every time they're tweeting, it goes into this folder. If I come on Twitter and today I'm interested in finding funding for something, I can come to my list and I'll only see tweets coming from these accounts and see what I'm interested in. So I have lists for almost everything you can imagine. Comics, motivation, news, some are made private, I don't know why. Just everything. I feel like it's one of the best features for controlling my Twitter. I don't know about others, but maybe as you tend to use it, maybe I've not convinced you enough, but I really love it, and I think you should give it a try. You should give bookmarks, lists, and moments a try. Use them to save tweets and all of that. So that's what I would call, I think basically based on people asking for navigation, this is what I could think of. And I'm hoping that I've been able to satisfy all the things you're looking to hear from this tutorial. One last thing is you can use this star thing, don't know what to call it, to organize your tweets based on whether it's a top tweet or top tweets. I think tweets that are getting a lot of attention, retweets, like they'll come first, or you can see the latest tweets instead. So if you switch to seeing the latest tweets instead first, then those ones will appear on your timeline first. You can always switch around depending on what you're interested in seeing. So does anyone have any question at this point, because I'm about to conclude? Anyone? Hi, Irene.
Yeah. I wanted to know how soon you'd be uploading the video, because I like to use it and then step by step set up my account.
Soon. What's today? Today is Saturday. I'll hit you up in your DMs. Let's just say in 1 or 2 days. I'll go back through it and see if I said anything sensitive that doesn't need to go out and stuff like that. And I will upload it on YouTube and notify all of you. I'll send you the link in the email thread. If you're good, please send me a thumbs up. Damasus is good, Araba is good. Franca, you can always contact me if you have any further questions. I don't work for Twitter, but I will try my best. One last thing that is super, that might be useful for some people is an advanced Twitter search, which you can access by going to twitter.com/search/advanced. Those in the academic circles will be familiar with this interface. So if you're looking for a very particular tweet, you remember someone tweeted about something and you're looking for it, you can enter the date that you think it might have been tweeted. You can enter the words the tweet contains and some exact phrase you think might be in there, or any of the following words, none of the words, or some hashtags, and the language you think it might have been tweeted in. Sometimes too, you're not sure of what you're searching for, so you just use the filter to filter the information. So maybe you're looking for someone tweets about elections in Ghana in 2010. So you can maybe look for possible hashtags, tweak these things, and it will return all those tweets for you. Maybe for research purposes or because you remember something useful happening with that. So that's the advanced search. So I'm concluding now. So we all agree that Twitter has a steep learning curve, and finding your niche could take time, but it's really worth it if you give it time and you are patient enough. And it's very rewarding. You get a lot of benefits. I didn't want to talk much about the benefits I've gained from Twitter itself, because it might sound braggy, but yeah, it's very rewarding. And there are many worlds on Twitter. Just find your world and learn the ins and outs of it so that you can enjoy Twitter very well. Don't be afraid to tweet. Be yourself, but also know that things could go wrong horribly. So just know your boundaries and don't be afraid. The fear of tweeting really is what prevents people from going onto Twitter, but don't be afraid. Just go in bold and you'll see that there's a very nice, welcoming community out there waiting for you. And yeah, happy tweeting. I got a few ideas from some books and some YouTube channels, so just to credit them so that they don't come for me. That's the end. Thank you for joining, and I hope you find it useful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At least I found it useful.
I'm glad.
Thank you, James. It was very useful as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James, for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Azam. This was very helpful, and you taught us a lot of new things that we didn't even know exist.
Yeah.
Thanks, V. And be sure to follow each and every one of you who joined the call so that at least you have your first followers. Okay, I'm ending the call now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank